Bell. Vicious, but brilliant! The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United. Wood's got round the back, and Richard Wood has done it again! It's done! It's Georgie Kelly!
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast. Thank you all for being with us as we are into game week, the end of the week. It's less than 7 days before the season starts. What could possibly go wrong? We'll go through the last week or so events of Rotherham United, including a humbling at Accrington, but some positive signings, we think, as well. Out by saying congratulations to the Lionesses, back-to-back European Championships, which is ridiculous. To a penalty shootout, make it a bit more nervous. So well done on that. But yeah, great achievement. Well done to everybody associated with the women's team, because that's a hell of an achievement. Mick's back. How you doing, Mick?
I'm all good, mate. Thank you. Are you?
I'm very, very good. Thank you. And Andrew's back with us. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Very good.
Good to have you all with us. We have people in the comments already. YouTube Ruser is with us as Millers66. Evening, everybody. Real work begins next week. John S says, as Mick will say, it's only pre-season, but Accrington who? Chris Page says, Paul only left 3 years ago, and it's only been one way since. Makes for a good Rotherham United podcast. Yeah. Shelton says, should be worried. That wasn't expected. John Hensman says, evening all. It's true that friendly results don't matter, but the manner of performance can be important, and that was worryingly bad. Harry says, is it pre-season? Yes. And am I concerned? Yes. Scott Kent's with us, as is Palmed and Steve Gauntlet, as well as a couple as well. So thank you all for being with us so far. Let's just let's go through the Accrington result, Mick. I'm sure not many Rotherham fans would have made the journey for a friendly to Accrington, us included. 9-1 in our last two games in pre-season. Doesn't fill you with much confidence going into next week, does it? Before we do that, Steve's with us. How are you doing, Steve?
Sorry, a couple of technical difficulties. I had to go and restart the Wi-Fi. I turned it into Danny, I think. Sorry.
Yes, Mick, go on. Talk to me about how worried you are.
Yeah, not a great result, was it? And I think as we mentioned in comments there, probably not expected either, given playing the League Two opposition. But I'm not. It's difficult to comment. Obviously, manner of the performance, I don't know. I have no idea because we didn't go. So, but we talked about it on the last podcast and probably the one before that as well, when I said I wasn't particularly interested in what happened to pre-season, and that interest has not increased at all over the last two games. I'm not bothered. Don't care. What happens on Saturday is where we'll all take our marker from, I think, and where we need to take our markers from, because that's when it's important. That's when it matters. So, yeah, let's not start throwing baby out with bathwater before the season's even started, shall we? That's my view on it.
Yeah, Tom K says could be a bit of a wake-up call if Hammy has given them all the rocket at full time. And I think it was interesting to me, Andrew, that what you often see with these pre-season games, and we saw a little bit with the Sheffield United game last week, where Hampshire was kind of not really worried about it because of X, Y, and Z, or not really worried because it's a pre-season. It doesn't matter because it's a pre-season. That was the complete opposite of what Matt Hampshire was saying. I was a little bit surprised that he didn't try and play it down a little bit. But then it also fills me a little bit of confidence, saying like he gets it, he understands there's a massive problem that needs to be resolved within, not resolved, but put right in the next few days.
I think you can sugarcoat the Sheffield United one just because we're playing a team who were 15 minutes away from Premier League last season. They weren't far away, so you can sugarcoat that when you can't really sugarcoat losing 4-1 away at Accrington. We beat Harrogate a couple of weeks ago comfortably. We beat Bramble, so you're looking at a similar kind of level. So I think what Hammy's doing, we criticised Evans for kind of throwing players under the bus, but this is a little bit different. I think it's almost like a warning. It's like a warning to him, like, come on, guys, this is not what we expect from a Rotherham United side, pre-season friendly or not. And to concede, like I said, like Mick, I didn't go, I've not watched it, I've not even seen the goals. But conceding 4 goals away at Accrington in a pre-season friendly isn't something that fills you with excitement for 12:30 next week.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Rob A says, looks like we've spent all our pre-season running, but not much work on football. How do you see it, Steve? Because obviously we've lost the last 2 games 9-1, but obviously we've beat the other 2 teams, who were both on Accrington's level, relatively those 2 friendlies. Do we look at it a whole? Do we just ignore it and say as long as they're fit for next week and this next 5 days, Monday to Friday, for the real business is where it matters, or where are you sitting on the kind of
Well,
this finish?
like Mick, I mean, pre-season friendlies are a waste. They're not a waste of time, but for me personally, I just ignore them. I've been watching cricket for the last 4 days, which is quite literally where I am at the moment. But I watched the Sheffield United game. I paid the £6 and watched it last week. And we were all right, but they're a very good team. And what did worry me in the second half was there seemed to be large rafts of space right down the middle of our defence. And when I was sat here yesterday watching the cricket and my phone kept pinging, and we were 1 down, then 2 down, then 3 down, it just appeared that we can't defend. But as far as I'm concerned, he's got a week now on the training ground. He's on about maybe 1, 2 or 3 players coming in, and we'll see where we sit at 3 o'clock to start with at 3 o'clock next Saturday when we're all there and it's a proper football game, and then we'll see how we get on at 10 to 5. I don't think there's any panic as such. I mean, some of the signings have been excellent on the face of it. They just need to gel, and that word gel again. But yeah, I'm not panicking. Why are you going to panic? I mean, me and Mick have been doing it for far too long to panic about this nonsense. Let's face it.
Yeah,
I agree with that, Steve. 100%.
I'm sure we've had worse pre-seasons and had all right seasons, and had great pre-seasons, had stinking seasons.
Well, the point I would make is exactly that. Just tell me, when have we had a really, really good pre-season and then a really good season? When have we had a really bad pre-season and a really bad season? Not from last season, but nobody
we beat
cares.
Sheffield United 2 years ago, and then we proceeded to have a bloody awful season.
Yeah.
So it means nothing. I mean, you look at some of the friendly games that have gone on. I mean, people have lost that you would expect to win, and whatever, you know.
I stand corrected. Sorry, Andrew. 2 seconds. I stand corrected on this, but the 80-81 season when we did really, really well, I think we drew 1 pre-season friendly and lost all the rest. I think, but I do remember that it was an absolutely awful pre-season. Then we went on and just blew the league away. So it means nothing to me. Sorry, Andrew.
I agree. I do agree. Pre-season means nothing, but there is for me yesterday. I'm like, my missus were doing a fitness event, so I were over in Macclesfield, and my phone kept popping up, and I kept looking at my son who were behind me, and the eyes were like, oh, what's going off here? Because it worried me, and the only reason why it worried me is I don't care about the result, but to lose 4-1, it indicates a bad performance defensively, and we're a week before the season starts, so that's where it worried me, in the sense of we brought a lot of players in really, really late in the last couple of weeks. So there's obviously going to need time to bed. And it's like when you used to play Championship Manager, you used to get rid of loads of players, bring loads in, they need time to gel. And that's just life, isn't it? So there is an element of, are we ready for the season to start? We might be all right in 3 months' time, but we might take us a bit of time to get going. And that's my only concern, is it might take us a bit of time to get going.
Yeah, but in 80-81, we didn't do very well in the first few games, did we, mate?
No, we didn't. No, that's true.
And we've done that consistently at this level, haven't we? In the successful seasons we've had in recent years, we've not started the season well. We've been sort of lower mid-table, haven't we? And then gone on runs near the end, and that would suit me down to the ground. But my slight worry is we played Donny at end of August, and I was talking to someone at a wedding last week who was a Donny Rovers fan, and I was saying I'm already kind of saying we're going to get beat, just to prepare myself and prepare him to not give me loads of stick when that does happen.
Yeah. Tom Case says it just makes everybody nervous. If we concede early against Port Vale, people will be thinking, here we go again. That's true. But probably if he's more into the last couple of seasons with the preseason, I get what he's saying. Paul Swift, has a friend who went to Accrington yesterday. Says Dawson was poor, Kelly was poor. You Golden non should just stay on the bus. Gore played well, Hall played well, but worrying, really worrying, not looking good. He adds, the lad from Celtic is like Humphrey, so laid back and relaxed and perhaps about with the ball instead of getting rid of it. Might mean nothing, but it's a really bad performance. And I think that's maybe the thing to take away from these games, Andrew. Again, we haven't, none of us have watched all the preseason games, but from what I understand, we're going to try and look after the ball a little bit more. And this Lenny prattling around with the ball is going to be something as a group, as a fan base, we might need to get used to the idea of those risk-taking parts. And I'm sure this is maybe why preseason's not gone well, because this is a complete shift in style. So that's going to play into the fact preseason's going to be even more difficult because of the shift that we're trying to make, I think, anyway.
And it's our responsibility as supporters to allow that to happen to some extent. Because you don't want to be like fanning about with ball at back and then everybody saying, get it up top, oof it, because we've been doing that for years and it's past 3 years, it hasn't worked. So I'm comfortable as long as we're going to make mistakes, of course we are, because that's what happens, that's life. But as long as we're sort of slowly getting better at doing it, I don't want us to be like, MK Dons did it quite well, but a couple of years ago where they just pass. And any team Russell Martin managers, and they don't get anywhere with it, and sooner or later you make mistakes, if you get punished. You just got to be doing it in the right way, just not for the sake of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Right, let's tick off some other bits before we maybe come back to that. We had 2 signings in the last week since we were last here. Denel Hall was the most recent one, Stephen. He comes from Heerenveen on a fee. I don't know what the fee is. I don't know if it's a high fee, low fee. I have no idea. But I know we all know it's a fee. Not going to pretend to have seen him very, very much. Seen the odd clip. But again, it fits a profile for me. He's a wing back, which Matt Hamshaw's signed. So for me, it says he's going to have pace. I assume he's going to be able to put a ball in the box. And we've cast the net a little bit wider than just Yorkshire or wherever else the case may be. It seems like a step forward in overall recruitment, and hopefully he's a good player as well.
Well, there's rumours that we've paid over 300,000 euros for it. That'd be a good signing, wouldn't it? And looking at his interview, by the looks of it, he does fit this profile that we had probably 2 or 3 years ago. Young, hungry players that none of us have heard of. Never heard of him before, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago when the rumours start. And again, you can't judge until you've seen him. And next weekend will be interesting, purely and simply because I've never seen half the team. The lad from Wolves looks a right unit. Denzel sounds as though he's powerful and quick. That's what he's gone for, powerful and quick.
Yeah.
But you've then got to sort your middle three out at the back if you're going to play 5-3-2. But yet, on the face of it, sounds a really decent signing, and we've had to beat people off. And yes, you're right. We're casting the net. I think we've tried to sign players from there before. Just ignoring Gisbert Boss because he was already in the UK at the time. Because I saw him for Lincoln all those years back. I think it's the first time we've ever signed anybody directly from Holland, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
But yeah, it's a good sign, and allegedly we worked very hard for it. So that's a good sign. All he needs to do now is to prove himself as a very good player.
Yeah, and there's a versatility to him. He played yesterday at right centre back, which Matt Hampshire says he doesn't prefer there, but he can do it. He can also play as a standard right back and then a wing back as well. And that gives that flexibility. Comparing to like Joe Rafferty can play right back, but he can't play right wing back. So now we've got somebody who can do both of those as well. That's just gives that flexibility to go 3-5-2, to go 4, whatever. It ticks a lot of boxes in terms of versatility as well.
Yeah, it does. But it's at the age, all the boxes are there, but we've got it's got to translate to performance on the pitch. But those performances aren't just one pre-season friendly or two pre-season friendly, or even one or two league games. It takes time. We've all said this. We talked about it at the beginning of last season. And we were saying that we couldn't really judge Evans and Rayner's performance until we sort of got to October, November. Until they've had time to work with the squad and do whatever it is that they were going to do. It didn't work. The same has to apply. The same has to apply here with Matt Amshaw as it did with what's his face, Matt Taylor. You can't just judge it, and certainly not on pre-season friendlies. In terms of the players that he's bringing in, the profile is very, very different to the last two. I count Liam Richardson out of this. It really, to be fair, to the last two management teams, Matt Taylor and Steve Evans, the profile is very, very different. We're in a different position than we were with Taylor. We're in the same position as we were with Evans. So we've got to give it time. But the bottom line with it is, as far as I'm concerned, in my view, the profile of the players is absolutely on the nose. The young, hungry players, unproven, some of them unproven at this level in this country, others not so much. But the players to develop, and the players, hopefully, if we can get the back office right, to sell them for a profit further down the line. So let's wait and see what happens. Let's not get out of bed as far as what's happened in pre-season. But the players themselves, Hall particularly, like you said, I think they look good. It looks on paper, and as has been said in the comments earlier on, we don't play on paper. On paper, they look good, in my view.
Yeah, I've got Huddersfield Town fans say Huddersfield were looking at Denel Hall as well. Doesn't feel very confident. I remember when we signed Jamie McCart, I think Stoke were looking at Jamie McCart, and that didn't really pan out how we all wanted it to. So. Derek, the other player is Marvin Caletta. Andrew, again, I don't know anything about him. But again, he fits a bit of a profile. He's young, 20-year-old, so same as Lenny coming from Celtic. There's a bit of a fee paid for him. Again, I don't think it's much, but there's a fee being paid for him. And fits into this idea of trying to build something rather than just hoping the experience works. It feels like he's trying to do something over a period of time rather than get promotion like tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely the right way to go. I know that ultimately every club, barring probably Barcelona and Real Madrid, are selling clubs. So we've got to bring players in to try and increase the money that we bring into the club to make us more successful. So players like that, it means that Rob Scott's actually working for his money. Like last season, the players he brought in, they were no-brainers in terms of sort of profile and history and stuff. Whereas these feel like we're properly scouting. I know very little about that collector other than the fact that he was he in Scotland last year on loan somewhere?
Motherwell, I think.
Motherwell. So obviously we've gone and been looking at a player that plays up in Scotland. We've been looking at Hall that's been playing for Herenveen in Holland. So these players have been tracked, and I think that's theoretically, like Nick says on paper, theoretically that's the right way to do things and what we should be doing. Bringing young, hungry players, hoping that we can ultimately get a decent return on them.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're saying we've got a threadbare squad. Tom Swift said we've got the most threadbare squad we've seen going into pre-season. Hopefully well organised and will be tough. 17 fit first-team players as things stand at the minute, and I'm sure said he expects 2 more this week, maybe a third one as well. That's with a few injuries, or Keane Spencer's has been unlucky, picked up another injury, Steve. I think you're only a couple more away in terms of loans. We haven't got many loans in yet. A couple more loans from your squad being done. I don't think we're that threadbare. You can say you might not like the players, whatever else, but I think numbers are roughly where I'd expect them to be a week before season starts.
I think we have plenty of midfielders as long as Benson isn't injured. So just kept him back this weekend. He said. Keane Spence is a bit of a blow because I thought he was the best player on the pitch first half against Sheffield United. I think we are very thin up front. Again, we're going to give Hugo another go but by all accounts, he wasn't good yesterday, but nobody was. So we'll see how he goes when we get to the real stuff. But I think he's definitely needing another striker, which he said he might bring in, or he could bring in. And at the back, again, we've got Raggett's got to come back. And that might be, if we can keep him fit, that might be one of the best signings of the season, really. I mean, let's face it, he's only played a handful of games for us. And the last time he was playing properly, he won the championship, or the league that we're in now. So, yeah, I think we're a little bit short up front, a little bit short at the back. But I agree with you. The squad isn't as threadbare as we may think it is. We've got quite a few options, particularly in midfield.
Yeah, and versatility as well. Like I said, we've got Hall who can play centre back. You don't need that extra centre back because he can fill in there and for where as and when we are short on players that come in there. Tom Case says we only need 4, 1 left wing back, couple of centre backs, and a striker. Am I right to say we've only got one loanee so far, haven't we? And that's Dan Gore. Or have I missed another loanee?
Yeah,
I think you're right.
And I fully expect been a bit more than there.
I thought Coletta were on loan, but I obviously completely misread that one. I think Harry just shouted to me the other day that we'd signed him, and I just assumed it ran low. So.
I wasn't on last week, but I just want to register my joy at Dangor coming back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
100%.
He was the one player I wanted back.
Yeah.
I agree. Completely agree. We've got a couple of comments that we'll go through these. Scott Kent says, no, it probably won't happen, but for God's sake, don't start Dawson on Saturday. Regan Martin says, need a new keeper. Dawson's a liability. Reminds me of Scott Shearer. I'm not getting this Cam Dawson hit, Mick. And I know I've seen the Sheffield United goals and he could have done much better with at least 2 of them. But I just don't really get it, to be honest with you. I feel like we're building something up to blame somebody, and Cam Dawson might be a scapegoat if he makes a couple of mistakes, and he will make some mistakes. I don't think he's that bad a keeper. He showed in the games he played at Hampshire that he's a pretty the Bolton game in particular. But for me, he's shown he's a good League One keeper. And I don't really get it. I
think. Again, we maybe some of this is being pinned on the performances in pre-season friendlies. I don't know. I've not seen him, obviously, because of holidays and one thing and another. I've not seen any of the pre-season friendlies, so I don't really feel qualified to discuss performances on in those games. I've seen him in the league where it matters. I agree with you. I would agree with you. He seems a very, very accomplished goalkeeper for this level. Certainly more accomplished than Phillips was, in my view. And he has done it before at this level. So, yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? We still got a Victor hangover? I don't know. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. I don't know. But he will make mistakes. He's a goalkeeper. Goalkeepers make mistakes, and when goalkeepers make mistakes, they cost us goals. We've talked about that many times, haven't we? But for me, I'm with you. I don't really get it personally, but it's all about opinions, isn't it?
I was just thinking, like, you've got a guy here who's playing again in front of a new back line, and not just a new back line, a completely different style of play as well. So I do feel like, and like you say, it's pre-season. So I think we should be giving him a bit of such a leeway in the sense of the whole defence needs to learn. So he's got to be confident in the defenders in front of him, hasn't he? Ultimately, and that's going to take time. So again, in October, if he's thrown a few in and he's absolutely in having a shocker, then that's when you make a change. But for me, you don't start with, I don't know how old that Ted Can is, but he's only a young kid. You don't start with him, throwing him straight in when you've got an experienced League One goalkeeper there who's done well with. I mean, were at Exeter when they were in League One, or was that League Two? But he did well.
League Two got promoted from League Two.
Yeah, and they loved him, and they did well at Wednesday at that level as well. So you gave him a chance, you give him a shout, and if he's shocking after 10 games, then you make a call on it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get the feeling that Hampshire will kind of back him. If he's your keeper, you've got to back him. We saw last season, Steve, that chopping and changing goalkeepers is a dangerous game, a very dangerous game. And both keepers probably suffered significantly from the confidence side of things. If you're going to pick Dawson as your number one, he has to be your number one until at least January when the window opens for me. And that's not saying let's give him a free pass to make loads of mistakes, but if he's the guy for Matt Hampshire, he's the guy for Matt Hampshire until you can replace him in the earliest January.
Absolutely. I mean, they suffered last year because the fat controller couldn't make his mind up. It changed every time one of them made a mistake. He'd maybe give another game, or he'd take them straight out. I mean, Cam Dawson did make a mistake on a free kick against Sheffield United, and I think that's what a lot of the unrest is, let's call it that, on social media is about. I mean, I can't comment on any of the goals yesterday, but yeah, I think we've got to give him a chance. We've got to give the team a chance. You know, even if we lose on Saturday, we can't go wappy about the whole thing, can we? Really, because we've got to watch the team develop. We can see what's going on. But yeah, Cam Dawson needs to be given a chance because he was very good at the end of last season, frankly.
Absolutely was. Yeah, absolutely was. Cliff Bob says we ain't getting another senior keeper. Folk need to get off Dawson back. He is a decent keeper.
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree with that, definitely.
Yeah. I'm sure that won't be the last time we talk about it.
There'll be a list. The season goes on, there'll be a list.
So he has a blinder on Saturday.
Yeah.
Exactly. Tom K, we'll go to the comments here. Tom K says, would you take Colm Bramble back? He's not the best player you'll ever see, but formation suits him perfectly. He is an interesting one, Andrew, because we bought him as a wing back, and then Paul Warne left, and the subsequent managers didn't really play wing backs, so they played a system to suit his style. Yeah. Having said that, he did get a number of chances and never really took any of them.
It's a frustration with Colin Bramble, but I think one of my mates said he's just a sprinter who happens to be okay at football, and I think that's where I was at. But I would take him with it because in a back three, you've got somebody to protect him, and it never even crossed my thought process until yesterday when a mate of mine put something on our WhatsApp group, and I thought, you know what, I would take him back, and then I mentioned it to our young and him. He said he kind of said, yeah, I think I would have him back, and I didn't even realise he'd been released by Portsmouth, but I think he probably would be a low risk. Somebody low risk to bring in, but also, would we have already brought him in potentially if he was on our radar? So he's probably. I think now the only players we bring in are probably Premier League loans or Championship loans. Probably more Championship loans because they'll start to be thinking about releasing the players for loans for the season.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Premier League, as Mams should point out with the Coletta signing, Premier League starts 2 weeks after us. And obviously, Championship just won't be. It's a bigger gap than normal in terms of the start of the season. So that's maybe why the Premier League loans are slower. They are, and that's why Matt should mention Coletta being behind in terms of preseason fitness because they're 2 weeks behind. His fitness is nowhere near. So that, if he didn't play well yesterday, that's gonna impact it. Right, we have a bit. Well, it's not breaking news, but it was kind of announced by Paul Davies just prior to recording that Joe Rafferty has been confirmed as the captain for the season ahead. No brainer.
Yeah,
definitely.
Not much else to say. He's an experienced guy.
He's a character and all in it. He appears to be an absolute. Like you can just tell he's winding everybody up in changing room, but in a positive way. He just looks like a character.
He's a cheeky scouser, isn't he?
Yeah, well that's it. Yeah.
Calm down.
But he said scouser, Steve.
From Bangalore.
Is there anybody else, Mick, who you would have thought could be on there? And Sean Raggett is the one that jumps out, but he's not fit yet, and we don't know when he's going to be fit. Other than that, I think there's not many else to pick from. But it's obvious that we don't see.
Not really. Kelly maybe, arguably, he's another experienced player, and he plays in the right position for a captain, that holding area, that's just in front of defence. That's where you want, in my view, traditionally, that's where your captain sat, either in defence or just in front of defence. So you can see most of the play. So I have no issue with it at all. Again, I think we talked about this last season or season before. It's largely symbolic, isn't it? On the pitch, captain's position. So he goes up at the top, and that's about it, really. He shouts at a few people, but you want those other leaders in there anyway. You in each area of the pitch, not just your captain. So, but yeah, no issue.
Yeah, I go with Reggie Martin. I don't get how he'll fit in if he's a right back and we're playing with the right wingers. That's the interesting part to me, Andrew. That if he's captain, he's going to play. So the only way he fits into a 3-5-2 is as the right centre back, which is just interesting. That's not what we signed him for, and I suspect he can do a job. But that just strikes me as interesting. Note that he will probably play that, and that's going to have to be his position.
And, well, the only pre-season I've seen was a Parkgate game, and that's where he played against Parkgate. And I kind of thought he's lost that bit of pace, hasn't he? So you're definitely not going to play him as a right wing back. So that to me is his only spot where he's going to get in, unless you revert back to a four at the back, flat back four, and he plays as a traditional right back. That's where he's going to play. And but then if you said Denel Hall played that position as well.
He can, yeah.
Coletta does. So it's like, well, what? How are you going to fit two wing backs and a right back? Because you've essentially got three players for one, maybe two positions there. But yeah, I think he's the obvious captain, but it's where he does fit in ultimately.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out next week what the first lineup. I'm sure the first lineup won't be anywhere near what they will kind of end up with in a few weeks' time.
No.
But it's still interesting.
A lot of trial and error, isn't there, in the first few weeks of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. Harry says would give Powell the vice captain personally. He would. I wouldn't. Yeah, won't be against that. We'll see what happens. Bridget Martin says looked a bit lost in the last two games. Again, let's see how next week fares, and then start judging in those games. Right. Well, also going to mention now that we're going to do a fantasy EFL. What's it called? I've lost what it's called. EFL fantasy football, basically. Put in the comments there how you can join the league if you want to sign up, and we'll see who can win. I think you can win a season ticket if you do well in the overall league. Win a season ticket.
For who?
Well, I think your own club.
Oh, right. That's a punishment, isn't it? That's
I think I've checked the league, and there's about 10 or so people joined in already at the L League. So please do join in there. Also, we will do some predictions like we normally do. We won't do a full couple of episodes because of the pool we've kind of built up now. We have to like 6 episodes to get everybody in. So,
oh damn! I was looking forward to nicking young Mick's belt.
Well, we'll do a prediction league. We'll do a prediction league. So the pre-season predictions, I'll just get everybody.
All right. So yeah, I got you.
And I will look at them after the season. We will do a prediction league. I'll have to get a big group chat for us all to be in. So get full predictions.
Just put me down for 1-0 every game.
That was last season.
Yeah, it wasn't far off.
My prediction is that I'll probably be bottom of the league. I'm absolutely terrible at predicting results. Terrible.
It depends if we can get Ben in. If Ben's back in, then your bottom spot's already locked in.
Oh, is nailed on. Yeah.
But what's
They'll probably be doing it in Mexican.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll only accept Ben's if he does it in Spanish, which I think's fair. Right. We'll go through. There's not much left to go through, to be honest with you. Let's go through a couple of bits. As you may know, everybody else and their friend is putting out their 1-24s over us, over the League One Championship, everything else that comes through it. There's been a couple, Stephen, that have predicted us to go down. Gabson being kind of the main one to put us to go down. I may have to take some responsibility for that because when I spoke to him last, I was so negative. That was back in June when we hadn't signed anybody. What are your thoughts on kind of? I haven't seen anybody kind of predictable like 17th or 18th at the minute, so it's pretty negative outside the club at the minute.
Clean slate. It's a clean slate. You know, we don't know what's around next week's corner. I mean, there's another 2 or 3 players allegedly coming in, and the window's open until the end of the month. If we don't, we might not start getting going until October, but there's still plenty of time. I think that, and I'm not usually very optimistic, I just need a season where we're actually pushing for something like the playoffs. So I've got us down for a bit of an unlucky miss at 8th, I reckon. I don't think we'll go down.
No.
We won't let us go down, will we? But
I think Gav Sutton mentioned that Johnson Clark Harris will be a big miss. So at that immediate point, I just kind of thought, I like Gav Sutton. I really got his stuff. He's good. And at that point, I thought, well, not a great deal then, does it? Because Johnson Clark Harris would not be a miss to us at all. So I mean, I guess from outside looking in, we do look in danger, but I think we'll be all right.
I think what he said, Andrew, was that all Johnson Clark Harris does is miss.
Yeah, maybe that's it then.
I think you might have misunderstood him.
Misread it.
Would it be fair to say that we've missed him all last season?
Well,
Because he never bloody turned up.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nice move to sunny Turkey, though, hasn't he, out of it? For him and his mate Malik.
They'll have a great time in second tier there. Yours says knocked down between 10 and 6. That's probably how I would have us in that zone.
Yeah.
Tom K says can't see us going down at worst. Will be very inconsistent, which means mid-table. Scott Kent says 10 to 15th. A bonus is any higher. It's about seeing progress, making it, and that's we all want to go up. If somebody said, "Where do you want to finish the season?" You want to win the league. You want to go up. You want to get in the playoffs. That's fine. But it's for us. Bearing in mind the season we've had, it's about progress. So if we end up finishing in the same place, but it feels like something's moving in the right direction and there's something building, I can kind of accept it as long as I see it. And that's what we didn't see. And that's why Evans lost his job in the last season, because there was just no progress moving forward and no obvious plan, everything else. So that's what will keep Matt Amshaw in a job if we have an average season.
Well, what keeping in a job is, like you said, progress. And the bar is very low, isn't it? The bar is very, very low. In relation to performance levels. So, I don't know. We'll see, won't we? We'll see. I want to get promoted. That's what I want. Because it's August coming up. 2 days, 3 days, whatever it is. It's August. And we have to be positive until 5 o'clock on first Saturday in August. Then we can go back to being normal. Correct. But at the moment...
So what we're saying here, Mick, is that the 2 old blokes are the most positive ones out of the 4 of us.
Who knew, eh? Who knew?
I didn't know.
For me, I think it's the case. I don't like last season. I was crying out for a season of mid-table mediocrity, and we got it last season. But it felt a real chore. It felt like there were not much positive until we got rid of Evans, and then there were a few positive results, and then we kind of crept back up the table. I would take probably finishing in the same spot next season, but if that's that incremental growth in how we're playing football, how we're actually growing as a football club and getting a bit of identity back, then I'd take that. I'd take finishing in that. I can't remember where we finished last season, but that kind of mid-table zone. So I think Scott Kemp put between 10th and 15th. I think I'd probably be relatively comfortable with that. If we're, I don't know, say his playoff charge finished in March or something, I'd be like, well, we'll give it a go, you know. And I think I'd be comfortable with that. And I think we have to the sort of targets that we had under Evans are completely different to the targets we have under Amshaw, because it is a rebuild. We have to rebuild after an Evans tenure. It always happens like that. And we have so much crap last season that just weren't sort of right for us, and whether to get rid of them and sign some new. So it's just about that. I know Tony Stewart used the incremental change thing many years ago, but it is for me. It's that incremental sort of growth from where we were last season.
Yeah, let's see if the ownership is patient enough to accept.
Yeah,
that.
well, that's the key thing. I mean, you'd like to think it would be, but history's not shown that, has it?
Yeah,
Well, it's sorry. I think it's about. I mean, you look at the backroom staff. I mean, they've not been cheap, have they? It's a brand new backroom staff, brand new manager, and it's going to be a brand new team with probably another 3 or 4 players before it finishes at the end of August. So I think Tony will have to give it time this time. He's invested.
Do you feel like we're important as a collective, not us four, but the supporters? So do you know, like when you think about when he's got rid of managers in the past, Liam Richardson aside, he only turned on Evans when we turned on Evans after that Crawley game. And I'm thinking it was very similar to Matt Taylor as well. So when the fans turned and when people are starting to really, I mean, all right, Barnsley were calling for his head, but really against Crawley, and then he made a decision. And I don't know if, like with Stuart, if the majority of the fan base support Amshaw, then I can't imagine him turning against him, because I think he does subtly take influence from us. Or maybe I'm just playing the role of supporters a bit higher than it actually is.
I mean, there is an argument that that Barnsley game, I can't remember, was it October, November? Anybody else but Evans, who was his mate, would have been out the door. Because it was that bad. But I mean, there was no getting away from that Crawley game, and I think it's the Crawley game that finished Evans off. If we hadn't lost that game to Crawley, I suspect he wouldn't have pulled the trigger. And I think to a certain extent, you're right. And it's like it with a lot of football clubs. Once the chairman feels that the manager has lost the support of the supporters and the players to that extent, to another extent, he flicks the switch. So we'll see, won't we?
Yeah. Well, time will tell. Time will tell. Tom Kay says, "Berta Gabby was the only one who didn't predict us to go up last season. I think it was 10th, and we all laughed at that." Tom Swift thinks we'll be in a relegation battle. John asking, has Matt set a target yet? Matt Hamshaw, that is. John S says, I'm okay with the same position as long as we play well. Yeah, the pass seems quite low at the minute. Delaying the kit. There's been delaying the third kit. Does anyone want to have a quick moan about that?
It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. Can't believe it.
I'm working in an industry where you have to deal with supply chain. I know it's not straightforward, so to have a go at the football club for their supply chain not delivering, then I think that would be a bit harsh.
Tin pot.
Agreed.
I work in supply chain, and my suppliers are always late.
Yeah,
and they're a pain in the backside. So
you always get a delivery date. You get a delivery date and have 3 weeks on.
Well, that's what they do. That's what they do. These are becoming from the Far East, aren't they? Probably.
I imagine so. Yeah.
You would have thought so.
I mean, I wore my gold one last Saturday, and it didn't work against Sheffield United, so that's in the bin.
I saw it. I didn't like the gold shirt. I saw it in the club shop.
It's actually very nice.
It's very nice in person.
On my humongous bloody frame is, yeah.
It looked smarter than I thought it were, to be fair. I thought, do you know what? I could get used to it. I really like that training top. The training top, like that's really nice.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Right, last thing on my list, we've got one of the new rules is coming into football this season. So one of the new rules, me and Mick experienced this for the first time on Thursday night. Me and Mick went to Sweden last week, went to the Hammarby game, and they were playing the European competitions in the qualifiers. So the new rule for this season is to do with the goalkeepers having the ball for 6 seconds. So what you've got now is after a certain few seconds, the referee will put his hand up in the air and then count down with his fingers 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then a corner is given. A corner is given to the attacking team. There, we saw it firsthand how referees don't care about that. The referee put his hand up and went 5, 4. Just get on with it, and he took another 5 seconds. So. Just setting everybody's expectations on that new rule. Don't expect anything, to be honest with you, because it was an
I can imagine it being quite difficult to police that. You know, it feels like it'd be really difficult because what are they doing? 6 petit to 5 petit to 4 petit are in their head, and if they count quicker than others, it's just going to be so inconsistent across the board, isn't it?
Particularly if the referee's minus a finger.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want
to help. No.
You know what? I get the principle of it. It's like
I might to stop myself then.
Good lad.
It's 6 seconds, isn't it? and for some reason, Barnsley just came into my head, and
no.
Sorry.
Go on, Andrew.
No, I want to say I get the principle of it. Like it's to stop time wasting. It's to stop. I mean, we've done it ourselves, didn't we? Bolton last season. We all do it. All teams do it. Some are, I would say, worse than others. You could say better than others. Wickham, anything under Gareth Ainsworth is the kings of it, aren't they? So I get it in principle, but I just can't see how it can be policed. I just think
when a keeper collects a ball and then falls on the floor with it, at the end of a game, does the clock stop ticking as soon as he catches it, or when he gets up from throwing himself on the floor? So it's all these things that you need to understand. When does it start?
Yeah. No, exactly. So there's great, as with football, they've created a rule, and there's 16 different grey areas from one slight change. Tom Case, that was scrapped within 6 weeks tops.
There's no way it's lasting 6 weeks, Tom.
I don't think so.
Listen, mate, it didn't last 6 seconds in game we watched on Thursday, so it ain't going to last 6 weeks.
No. There was nothing wrong with the last rule they did. The rule was you allowed it for 6 seconds, and if you start with 6 seconds, it's indirect free kick. Why are we not doing that? Why don't you enforce the original rule that was in place? That it worked to start with. It worked. It was 10 years, whatever it was. It worked to start with, and then we stopped enforcing it. And then if you stop enforcing the rule, people are going to take mickey out of you. So just to go back to the original rule, and I don't get why we have to be clever about these things.
It's to be seen to be doing something. I think again, there's a problem with this. We're the same with the old waving of the yellow cards and stuff, which lasted for our game against Blackburn, were it, and then nobody ever did it again ever since then. They just seem to be doing something.
Yeah, I agree. Because you'll get officials that love to give a corner against us. One or two things spring to mind. Yeah, I can think of one or two as well. John S. used to have the rule where I'd have no more than 3 bouncers. I think there's too many changes. Tom Case has a good rule with stop keepers picking the ball up when they've touched it. We see all the time when they wait for the striker to come and close it down and then pick it up. Yeah, I'm sure UEFA will realise this doesn't work. They've seen some of the proposed rule changes for the World Cup next year, which is just madness as well. But we'll come to that next year, hopefully, where they don't come in place. I have taken
announcements on what specific, other than this one, on what specific thing they're going to crack down on for first 2 games this year.
It'll be this week. Will it? Yeah, it normally is the week of the season.
Right.
And also, the thing to bear in mind is the Premier League doesn't start till 2 weeks later. So I don't know whether we'll get the emphasis for only the first 2 weeks, or whether we'll get an extended emphasis period with the Premier League.
We might get 3 weeks.
I get 3 weeks.
Well, the Championship is a week after us.
Yeah,
and then it's Premiership. So
yeah,
you could have a staggered revision of the rule every week for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then back to normal. Yeah, I like it. I like where you're going with that, Stephen. Yeah, I like
Do the proletariat not like it? Will the underclass to the Premier League like it, or will the Kings like it?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll soon find out.
Just play football, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I completely agree. I've ticked up everything on my list. Is there anything else anybody wants to mention?
I don't think so. I think we're about there, aren't we?
No.
This is it.
Yeah, we are. Just
yeah.
Everybody keep calm. We'll be there at 3:00 next Saturday, where we all want to be. I've missed it. It's been 3 months. My grandson was born the day before the Peterborough game, and he's now 3 months old. So there you go. 3 months without sitting in my seat at the New York. And all I want this season is to be able to stand up and cheer a few goals.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Just get excited. That's it, isn't it? Like, even not to cheer a few goals, just get some excitement back in. That's for me. And just enjoy walking through the door again.
I'm ready now. First month or so, I really enjoyed not thinking about Rotherham United. Now I am ready to get back into the rhythm and
I'm looking forward to it next week.
Get excited, get angry.
Me too.
That comes in between. Yeah. So Thursday we are back for our first preview show of the season. We'll see what we can do about getting a Port Vale guy on for the scouting report. We'll see what happens with that. We'll try. But the instant reaction will return Saturday evening as well. So we're back to normal procedures with shows from Thursday onwards. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe on YouTube. We saw a big shoot up in numbers actually in subscribers last week. So thank you everybody who was with us for that one. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. Give the video a thumbs up as well, because that helps spread the word and YouTube's algorithm nonsense. If you are listening on iTunes, Spotify, make sure you follow, subscribe, whatever it allows you to do. If you're watching on X or Facebook, as I can see some people are, make sure you follow us and subscribe and like the video on there as well. Mick, Andrew, Steve, thank you very much for being with us tonight. I very much enjoyed it.
Pleasure.
We will see everybody next time. And as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Cheers. Up the Millers.
Two for Jensen, two for Rotherham. Shoots! Bell. Ambitious, but brilliant! The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United.
Wood's got round the back, and Richard Wood has done it again!